Hello, world. Welcome to the very first episode of Poshow TV. That's Polar Opposites with Big T, my man, Cool Hand Phil. Phil, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, Terrence. Now, my mom always told me that I had a face for radio, so I don't know how this is going to go putting it to video, but I'm looking forward to kind of a brand new segment that we're bringing along to the show.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, let's get right into it. Everybody's talking about the curious case of Robert Griffin III, RG3, out as a starter in Washington. Phil, just right off the top, I need to know, how do you mortgage the franchise's future with all of the trades and moves that they made to move up to get Robert Griffin in the first round and have the offensive player of rookie of the year, and then just a few years later, after some unfortunate injuries and sure, maybe not some great play, but all of a sudden now you've replaced him with Kirk Cousins. How does that even happen?
Well, I mean, I almost want to go back a few seasons. It just seems like RG3 has been mishandled the entire time that he's been with the Redskins. You know, if you go back when it really started to trickle downhill was when he injured his knee,
right? And
they put him back in the game when you could tell he was hobbled. I mean, there's one thing about, being hurt. There's another thing about being injured.
Right.
So I feel like he was injured at that point, and they put him back in the game. And by doing that, everything has really just been a nightmare and a train wreck since then. And part of him being injured was his style of play.
Sure.
And a lot of people said, hey, he's going to have to be careful of that going to the NFL. He's going to have to try to stay in the pocket more instead of rolling out because he's not a big frame like Roethlisberger or Cam Newton.
But some of that, but isn't that some of the problem, though, Phil? That they're saying stay in the pocket, and that's not his game, though, right? I mean, isn't there something to his bad play, and they're trying to make Robert Griffin III something that he's not?
I disagree. I mean, when you go back and look at him in college, he wasn't a Cam Newton. I mean, he had an arm, and he was accurate. He could put the ball on the money. If you go back and look at the passing yards that he had,
right,
he was very prolific. So I think him staying in the pocket is his game, but it's his legs that can extend plays.
Sure.
And then you had last season where you had kind of that freak injury where he was getting down, he was doing the right play, and somehow the guy's, helmet hit him on his knee, and he's got a torn ACL again. So, I feel like a lot of the mishandling has come from management, coaching, philosophies, and personalities, and it's just extending out into the field of play now. And it's just it's surprising because he's the one making the money. He's the face of the franchise,
exactly.
And now he's the backup QB.
Well, here's again, surprise, surprise, something else that we won't necessarily agree upon. But one thing I think that we can all agree upon is, in your words, the Washington season this year will be a dumpster fire. You've replaced your starting quarterback with a guy whose winning record is 1-7, wearing that exact same uniform. So I'm not looking for a lot out of DC this year, and if you're a DC fan, you shouldn't be either. Hey, that's it for this episode. Hey, check us out again next week, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Poshow TV. Good night.